Once upon a time, in the heart of the Roman Empire, a young centurion named Marcus stood on the windswept hills overlooking the bustling city of Rome. The year was AD 180, a time when the expansive reach of Rome's power stretched from the sun-drenched lands of Hispania to the hauntingly silent frontiers of Britannia. Marcus had always been fascinated by the stories of triumph and tragedy that seemed to echo through every stone of the ancient city. As a child, he often imagined himself amidst those tales, wearing the armor of a Roman soldier, his eyes sharp and vigilant like those who had come before him. At 23, his dreams had transformed into reality as he rose through the ranks faster than most, a testament to both his valor and cunning. On this particular day, the city was abuzz with excitement and anticipation. Emperor Commodus, known for his peculiar mix of cruelty and charisma, had organized grand games to celebrate his latest military conquests. The air was thick with the scent of roasted meats, and the roars of the crowd reverberated like thunder inside the Colosseum. But Marcus felt an unease within him that he couldn't quite place. His instincts, honed from years of military training and countless battles, told him that something was brewing just beneath the festivities' surface. This sense of foreboding led him down through the crowded streets, past merchants plying their wares, and children darting between the legs of legionaries adorned in iron plate and crimson plumage. He was soon joined by his lifelong friend Quintus, a fellow centurion whose disposition was as jovial as Marcus was solemn. "Ah, Marcus, my friend, always lost in thought," Quintus laughed, clapping him on the shoulder. "What troubles you on a day meant for celebration?" Marcus hesitated, casting a glance at the imposing visage of the Colosseum. "Do you ever feel like the fabric of our empire is fraying, Quintus? Like something dark edges closer with each victory we claim?" Quintus shrugged, his eyes scanning the familiar landscape. "Rome has known its share of shadows, Marcus. Perhaps it's simply the weariness of war speaking. Let the games lift your spirits." As they pushed through the throngs and entered the grand arena, the ferocity of the games unfolded before them in a spectacle of might and blood. Gladiators clashed beneath the hot sun, while the crowd's fervor seemed to rise with each turn of fate. Yet amidst the grandeur, Marcus could not shake loose the feeling of looming danger. Later that evening, as celebrations continued in taverns and homes, Marcus retreated to his quarters, where he meticulously tightened his armor and prepared for a night patrol unlike any other. The city, though vibrant with life, held secrets within its maze of alleyways and shadows, and duty called him to uncover whatever might threaten its sanctity. The ancient stone pathways whispered secrets from centuries past as Marcus and his men moved silently through the night. Their torches flickered, casting ghostly figures against the walls, while every distant noise stretched their nerves taut. It was in these silent moments that Marcus understood the heartbeat of Rome best, a city full of life yet equally fraught with danger. As his patrol ventured deeper into the heart of the labyrinthine streets, Marcus felt the press of years, both of Rome's glory and his own weary youth, shadow his every step. And somewhere in those tight-knit roads, beneath the relentless gaze of the moon, began a journey that would test the limits of his courage and the very soul of the Roman Empire. The narrow street seemed to close in around Marcus as he led his patrol deeper into the heart of the city. Each footfall echoed against stone, a hushed whisper in a city that never truly slept. The scent of smoke and incense lingered in the air, mingling with the distant laughter and song from nearby taverns, the sounds of revelry clashing against an undercurrent of tension. Marcus's senses were heightened by the quiet watchfulness that had developed over years of service. His eyes, keen and sharp, scanned the darkness for anomalies, for anything that seemed out of place in the familiar scape of Rome. It was on nights such as these that the pulse of the city felt tangible, as if the very streets were alive, breathing secrets with each passing breeze. They rounded a corner and entered a narrow alleyway, its cobblestones slick with the evening's dampness. Marcus paused, raising a hand to halt his men. The rustle of movement came from somewhere up ahead, faint but distinct. Shadows moved against shadows, imperceptible to the untrained eye.
"Stay alert," Marcus murmured, his voice low and steady, honed by years of command. He nodded to Quintus, signaling him to flank right, while he took the lead with measured steps, each one purposeful and silent.
As they advanced, the tension tightened, an invisible thread that pulled taut with each hesitant step. The alley unfolded into a small courtyard, dimly lit by the flickering light of a single lantern hanging precariously from a wrought iron hook.
Here, in the half-light, they found the source of the disturbance. A group of figures, cloaked and hooded, stood in a tight circle, their attention fixed on an aged man who spoke with a fervor that bordered on madness. His voice rose and fell in an impassioned cadence, words of dissent and uprising issuing from his lips with a fiery intensity.
Marcus felt a chill run through him despite the warmth of the night. These were not mere revelers or common rabble. This was something far more dangerous. The man's rhetoric cut through the air with the precision of a well-aimed dagger, and Marcus understood the true threat it posed to the fragile peace of the Empire. He exchanged a glance with Quintus, whose expression reflected his own grave understanding. The threat of insurrection, of hidden factions within the mighty Roman walls, was a danger they couldn't ignore. "Disperse!" Marcus commanded, his voice carrying with authority. The cloaked figures turned, startled by the intrusion, eyes wide with a mixture of fear and defiance. Chaos erupted as the patrol surged forward to quell the gathering. The cloaked figures fled into the winding alleys like shadows chased by the dawn, leaving behind remnants of their hurried exodus, scattered papers, a broken lantern, the echo of their hurried whispers. The old man, now abandoned by his followers, stood defiant, eyes blazing with a fervor that defied his frail stature. Marcus approached, his gaze meeting the man's, searching for understanding in the depths of his unwavering stare. "You speak treason," Marcus stated, his voice a calm but unyielding force. "These words can lead to nothing but ruin." The old man laughed, a raucous, booming sound that defied his apparent fragility. "Ruin comes not from words, young centurion, but from the ignorance and arrogance of rulers. The empire crumbles and Rome is blinded by its own grandeur. Marcus studied the man, noting the conviction etched into the lines of his face. What you seek is chaos. Does any good ever come from such turmoil?
Change is born from chaos, the man replied with a solemn nod. And our world is in desperate need of change. As the patrol led the old man away, Marcus felt the weight of those words settle upon him, a heavy mantle of responsibility that pressed down with the gravity of an uncertain future. Now, beneath the surface of Rome's glittering facade, fissures spread widely and deeply, threatening to unravel the very fabric of the world he had sworn to protect. The night air seemed thicker as Marcus contemplated the path ahead, aware that the choices he made would echo far beyond the confines of this ancient city. Please continue without stopping.
As the patrol guided the old man through the labyrinthine streets, Marcus continued to ponder the gravity of the moment. The old man's words lingered, like echoes of a truth that was unsettling yet undeniable. The idea that the mighty Roman Empire, with all its power and glory, could be as vulnerable as any empire before it was a chilling thought. The path led them to the barracks where the old man was detained for questioning. His eyes still burned with that same fiery determination, and Marcus could not help but feel a strange respect for the conviction of his ideological foe. With the matter temporarily resolved, Marcus and Quintus took a moment to catch their breath. They watched the sun begin its ascent, painting the sky with the promise of a new day. The city slowly roused itself from its slumber, unaware of the disturbances that had quivered through its bones just hours before. "Marcus," Quintus began, breaking the silence, "do you believe what he said about the empire needing change?"
Marcus hesitated, choosing his words carefully. "I believe there is truth in what he says, but the path to change is fraught with peril. Voices like his can inspire, but they can also lead to chaos and suffering."
Quintus nodded, understanding the delicate balance that Marcus sought to maintain. "Then we must be vigilant, ensure that when change does come, it does not come at the cost of destruction."
As Marcus prepared to part ways with Quintus and get some much-needed rest, a messenger approached them, bearing the seal of General Aurelius. Urgency flickered in the young man's eyes as he presented a scroll to Marcus.
Breaking the seal, Marcus quickly scanned the message. A muscle tightened in his jaw as he absorbed its contents. "It seems there is no rest for us, my friend," he said grimly. "We are to report to the general immediately." The call to duty was relentless, and the two men made their way to the general's quarters. The grand halls were alive with activity, strategists and soldiers moving